Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at the new episodes of Doctor Who with our 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker.
Technically 14th Doctor, if we consider the War Doctor, but we don't, so it's 13th.
Yeah, the War Doctor is unnumbered. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, took over from Peter Capaldi.
We haven't watched since sometime through 12's run. We got tired of it. Moffat seemed to be running out of ideas.
Moffat had this tendency, in my opinion, to not like continuity. I mean, he might have continuity in one sense, but then in another, in that things that should be really important don't matter from episode to episode.
You could definitely make a case for that in the case of Amy's whole family, who got brought back out of non-existence and yet didn't seem to have made an impact on the character. That her whole family is back from non-existence now.
And okay, that is a very egregious example. But I have mentioned the tree episode before, where like everyone conveniently forgets that it happens the next day, even though this is the age of Instagram and social media, so there should be records of this shit happening.
I remember that thing of not being remembered. And we did a whole review on the 2013 specials. That's where it really all sort of turned around. We're like, all right, this is supposed to be the 50th anniversary here, and it just wasn't good, really. So we actually just left the whole show, but now we got a whole new showrunner of whoever that name is. It's not Moffat. Not Moffat is running the show. I'll go Wikipedia it while we talk. And a new Doctor and a whole new cast to boot. I mean, I don't believe any of these are recurring characters. So basically, it's like the reboot we had, or not the mid boot we had between 10 and 11 has now happened again between 12 and 13. So if it's a good time to jump into the show.
Yeah.
So considering that, we don't know exactly why the 13th Doctor starts her run having fallen out of the TARDIS, and the TARDIS is elsewhere, and she has a sonic screwdriver. I presume that all happened in the previous episode, but whatever. We'll just, we'll assume it was all properly explained at the time.
Right. We will probably be wrong that it was properly explained, but whatever. So her first episode starts with this idiot deciding this guy making a blog on the internet, on YouTube. What an idiot, I mean, who would do that?
Yes, who would do that?
But he starts talking about the greatest woman I've ever known, blah, blah, blah. So then it flashes back to a couple hours, a day or two before, when it shows that he is descended from idiots.
Well, to be fair, they say he has, some sort of condition with muscle coordination or something. But yes, their choice for the bicycle. Go ahead.
Okay, this guy is 19 years old and can't ride a bike. Okay, fine. You know what? If he had a condition and he couldn't go out and do this shit when he was younger, fine. That is not an excuse to start out with hard mode in locations to ride a bike. Because they hike up to the top of this mountain that apparently requires a train ride to get to instead of going to a parking lot. Or a sidewalk.
Or the driveway in front of their house, if they have a driveway?
Yeah, but no. We have to make this as difficult as is considered physically possible. And when this guy falls down 3 or 4 times and realizes, hey, it's really hard to ride on a grassy hill, he throws the bike off the cliff. His name is Ryan Sinclair. And the reason I know that is because the first commander of Babylon 5 was Jeffrey Sinclair.
Oh, I was thinking of Ryan Seacrest when you first mentioned his name, and I got all confused.
Oh. Well, anyways, he is a young black man. I could be wrong, but I think it's the first African-American companion since Mickey.
Well, we easily could be wrong because we skipped a couple seasons. Oh, no, wait, there was a girl named Bill, apparently, that I didn't actually see, but I heard about her.
Huh.
Okay, whatever.
Oh, no. Don. Oh, wait, no, not Donna. The other girl from the hospital.
Jones. Martha Jones.
Martha! Oh, my God, I miss Martha.
Okay, so it's been a while since we've seen this show.
And also
Point is, whatever this guy's deal is, he goes to fetch his bike.
Which is now in a tree because, like an idiot, he threw it off of a cliff. Because that is a rational thing to do. and he sees a pattern of energy that's hovering in midair.
And he decides to go touch it.
Because he is an idiot and has apparently never seen any horror movies, or science fiction stories, or sci-fi horror stories. If it's glowing, you don't touch it because it's either radioactive or cursed, or made of super energy that will disintegrate you.
Or in this case, set off the rest of the plot.
Yeah. And he touches the glowing lines, they collapse, and suddenly there is a gigantic blue Hershey's Kiss sitting in the middle of the forest. That's super cold. Now, me, being an old school Doctor Who fan, thought, oh, wow, this thing is really cold. This is kind of cool. Actually, no, I said it looked like the plants that Peter's dad planted in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
And you also said, maybe it's the Ice Warriors.
Okay, yeah, once I saw what came out of the pod.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he calls it the police, and wouldn't you know it, the first person to respond is someone he was in primary school with.
And her name is Yaz.
Yasmin, but
yeah.
you know, whatever, Yaz. And so eventually Ryan's grandparents, his grandmother and her
new
husband are on the train, and suddenly everything stops. And here's where we run into the first problem of this special. Everything's dark. Not necessarily in the case of people are dying left and right, although there are a few people who die in the special.
But physically dark. Visually dark. I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead. I liked episode 2 a lot better than episode 1. So if you're worried about all the criticism we're about to unleash here, it gets better. And just in case we forget to say it, yay, the first female Doctor isn't that great. Okay, we're going to review this just the same as we would if it were any other Doctor.
The first female Doctor episode isn't
that great. Oh, that's true. The first episode with...
I'd like to preface something that I heard from Nash Bozard, a.k.a. Nash from What the Fuck Is Wrong With You. There has never been a bad actor to play the Doctor. Now, they might have bad scripts, bad episodes. The Sixth Doctor getting his run totally screwed over. That's a great example of that. But each Doctor has their own style, their own unique way of doing things, and each Doctor we've seen feels like the Doctor.
And so does this one.
Yes. So I have to credit the 13 for coming right out of the gate and feeling like the Doctor. She feels kind of like 10 with a bit of 11, but also sort of the manic energy of maybe 5. Or 6.
I haven't seen enough of 5 or 6 to tell you.
Actually,
that,
more of
6. I saw vibes of 10 in there, definitely.
Yes. Which might make sense, you know, if she was a fan of 10's run. Anyways, so the Doctor falls in from the ceiling while confronting what appears to be a giant ball of tentacles and lightning. Yes, that is a sentence I just said.
Yes, did we ever find out the name of this thing, or just...
I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care.
Right.
It was... Anyway, the ball lightning kind of moves around the train compartment and scans a guy who's sitting in the corner.
Did we even see it target that specific guy? I thought it just zapped everyone with lightning.
It zapped everyone with lightning, but then first it hovered over that one guy.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
The Doctor immediately takes control of the situation, and also Ryan and Yaz come on the train because they heard a phone call from the grandparent people.
Grace, her name was. The
Grace
grandmother.
And Graham?
Yeah, Graham. His actual name is Graham, which sounds too close to Gran or Granddad or something. But
oh, yeah, I thought that was weird until I figured out that they were saying Graham.
Yeah,
because I thought it was like
because everyone's Scottish. Did we mention that?
Yeah,
because it's a little hard sometimes. You have to pause and be like, "Wait, what did they just say?"
But after the thing is done scanning the guy in the corner, it zaps everyone with lightning. Then the Doctor and everyone and the party go. The Doctor, Ryan, Yaz, Graham, and Grace.
Yep.
Go and they go to the house for some reason.
Well, they decide we need to go find out more information about this thing. So Graham goes to talk to bus drivers, and Grace and Ryan go back to the house to go Google stuff. And Yaz goes back to the police station to ask if anyone's seen anything weird. And, oh, by the way, we all have bombs in our necks.
This is one of the stumbling points of the special, the bombs in the necks, because it's a pretty transparent plot device to say everyone in this room has to stay together, even though really a lot of them don't really have anything to do with this.
Yeah, and they didn't, for instance, when Eleven's first episode, and Amy's involved, and Amy isn't actually a cop, even though she's first dressed as one, right? In her adult form. But she had a much more take charge attitude. Do you remember her like putting him's tie in like a car door to like stop him there for a second to ask questions, what the frick is going on here? And also a personal relationship that she established when she met him when she was like 8 or whatever it was. She seemed a lot more involved in events. And the companions in this first episode seemed a lot more just following along. All the more weird because Yaz is a cop and should be kind of more a take-charge-ish person, you would guess.
Exactly.
And says, like, hey, I gotta do things here. And the doctor's like, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? Report to your superiors? That would seem all weird. Look, just follow me and do whatever I say. And she basically just follows her and does whatever she says. And it was like, come on, companions. I need a little more something here.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you could argue that Rose was a more passive companion at the start as well, but she got better with time. Now, we've only seen 2 full episodes of the new Doctor, so it's hard to really judge the companions, but they haven't shaken off the passiveness yet.
Not yet. And remember, Rose ended up pulling a few stunts, even in her first episode. Like, one of the first things she says to the Doctor is something clever about, she figured it must have been students that did this thing, even though she's wrong, it was fairly clever. And ends up doing that other thing, swinging from a chain to kick the guy into the thing.
And Martha's first episode had her facing off against the Jadoon, a.k.a. space rhino cops with guns.
Yeah.
Donna, when she first showed up, she slapped the fuck out of the Doctor and yelled, "Get me to the church!"
Yeah.
Then she helped beat was it the Sycorax, or was that a different race?
Wait.
Rachnos.
Yeah,
it was beat up the Rachnos, aka spider centaurs, whose spaceship lives at the core of the planet and wanted to consume all of humanity.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And she contributed in that. And so the natural, like the magnetic draw for a companion.
Oh wait. Oh, what was who was the impossible girl?
Oh, Clara.
Clara. What was her first episode? Because she had like 4 or 5 other episodes that happened before that where it was just people who looked exactly like her and acted like her.
Oh, the one for proper Clara. That was the one where everyone got trapped in the Wi-Fi. You clicked on the wrong thing.
Yes.
She winds up riding on the back of a motorcycle going up the side of a skyscraper, if I remember correctly.
That was amazing. That was really cool. And, actually, yeah, then we went to Bill, and we didn't see Bill.
I have no idea what Bill may or may not have done.
So these guys just seem super passive.
By comparison. So, as I was saying, the magnetic draw, if you're not careful as a writer, is for the Doctor's companions to be very passive. Because by the nature of the story, the Doctor knows a whole lot of things and has a whole lot of skills. So it's easy for the companion just to kind of be the Watson and not get much done. The actual Watson would occasionally pull out a revolver and do useful things. So it's important to have a companion who can be assertive enough to drive the plot and figure out some things on their own, so the Doctor doesn't take up all the attention by their just gravitational pull.
Hell, SF Debris has a rather interesting theory about the first Doctor. A lot of people think that the Doctor's first adventure was on the Dalek world of Skaro. It was not. There was a period in between visiting Skaro and leaving the junkyard with his granddaughter and the 2 other companions. I can't remember what they were called. But anyways, they visited the past. There was a scene where it looked like the Doctor was going to kill a man because it would have been convenient for him in the long run. And a companion, a normal human from 1960s Earth, stops him. And the Doctor has said that's why he is always drawn back to Earth, and why he's so disappointed when humans fail to live up to his ideals. Because even though they're humans who don't know
of the secrets of time and space.
Yeah, or even when they're not in the interstellar stage, they were capable of holding the Doctor back and providing useful ways to further both the story and his own growth. He sees them as a better person than he.
Yeah.
That was just a guy stopping the Doctor from killing a man with a rock. It wasn't even like a super big deal, but that is the effect a companion can have on the Doctor.
And in this first episode, we didn't see any major effects being had on the Doctor, really.
Even when someone died, helping him destroy an alien.
Help it, yeah.
Well, we're getting to that, sorry.
Yeah.
The bombs just feel like a way to say, oh, now everyone has to stay with the Doctor. It's not just, we feel like staying with the Doctor for explicit
you got this,
reason.
Yeah, they call them DNA bombs, a glowing thing in your collarbone, and it'll nuke you at some point, but we're not sure when. And Graham keeps asking when. She's like, I don't know.
And then if she eventually starts berating Graham, like, why do you keep asking that? To which I would respond, oh, I don't know, it's because I have a bomb in my body! You know, it's one of those things that tends to draw the attention.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Well, sometimes other doctors have done similar things, but, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, the other doctors would try to comfort.
Yeah, you're
Some of them would try to comfort, admittedly.
Yeah.
Okay, some of them would not. Okay, I'm willing to be a big enough man to say that some of the doctors have been assholes.
Yes.
And no, I'm not counting Six's attempted murder spree in that.
You gotta exempt that, right?
Well,
post-regeneration sickness. Yeah.
Also because the showrunners at the time had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah, that too.
So...
Okay, so anyway, we track the signal from the bombs in our necks to go to this one warehouse where the blue Hershey's Kiss is, because a guy went over and picked it up out of the woods somehow. I guess it must be light enough for him to carry, or something. He had another guy with him, but still, two enough him to carry it. And they put it in a van, and he drove it to a warehouse so he could stare at it until it opened.
And videotape it, and his only weapon is a crowbar.
And he wants to know where his sister is, because apparently one of these things happened earlier, 7 years ago, and a evil guy popped out and killed his sister.
Yeah, I saw this thing, and the way it kills the people is it touches them with their bare skin. I thought, because it uses extreme cold, and the capsule was cold, and has a conflict with humans, this might be an ice warrior.
And it's not.
No, it's some completely new species that we've never seen or heard from before.
Yeah, whatever they were called.
I mean, I'm not against new species in Doctor Who. Just, I don't know, you kind of had this whole motif that said this could be an ice warrior, this classic species that hasn't been seen a whole lot in the modern series, but played a big role in the classic one. And you went with not that. In fact, you went with a bigger disappointment.
Well, yeah, the guy ends up being a Predator knockoff.
Bad Predator knockoff. See, so the Predator, or Yajuta, if I'm saying that correctly, were a race of hunters in a series of movies, also from the Alien vs. Predator movies, which were apparently bad, but apparently fun. But see, the Yajuta had a code that said, take trophies from worthy prey, and respect prey that you cannot beat. Meaning that they would not target... they might have actually targeted children. Never mind.
Well, in general, they wanted to target worthy prey.
Yeah,
because they wanted to fight.
Meanwhile, and you'll appreciate the genius of this guy says, that sounds like hard work. I'm going to target a crane operator who is a total weenie. Everyone will respect me.
So he explains the species is called the Stenza, and to be a leader in the Stenza, to be the leader, okay, apparently they select a random human, and you have to go to Earth and kill that guy, or rather, you take him as a trophy. This is confusing because he did a bit where he killed that one dude and then took his teeth. One of his teeth, and put it on his face, because that's like a marking of how many people he's killed. But apparently the tooth is not the trophy. The trophy is like the guy's entire body, because they talk about taking him back to the Stenza homeworld and then putting him in stasis for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like the whole thing is just a setup so we can go save that girl later on, the one the sister.
Yeah. I mean...
That's pretty odd, though, for a war-like species not to kill the prey. That seems to be the whole point of prey.
There are so many problems with this premise. Yeah. First off, the Predator knockoff aspect. 2, the choice of target. Why some random guy and not some big game hunter? Because that would at least make things interesting and make it seem so that you're more impressive than, ha! I have bested the mighty human champion of Dan Clerk at 7-Eleven!
And since it's clearly that easy to kill a guy, why isn't leadership of the Stenza changing like every half hour? Like, someone else could come to Earth and just kill the next random dude. And like, come on!
And if so, why has UNIT not stopped this? Or Torchwood? I mean, we know these organizations exist in Doctor Who, so they should be putting a stop to it if that is the case.
I mean, it's possible something happened to them in the seasons we didn't see, but I don't know.
But there's another problem with this. The Doctor examines the Stenza Hershey's Kiss and finds the recall device, the object that will take them back to their home planet.
It's a teleporter of some kind, yeah.
Yeah, they say, this is the power. This came from 5,000 galaxies away. Let's ignore for the fact that 5,000 galaxies is not a unit of measurement. Let's put aside that a galaxy is not a unit of measurements. Because when you say a galaxy, you could mean something as small as the Small Magellanic Cloud, or as large as M31, aka a galaxy as big as our local galactic group.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess if you draw a straight line from here to there, you just happen to pass 5,000 galaxies along the way.
But that's not a unit of measurement.
No, it's not a good unit of measurement. I'm just saying. It's like saying 3 states away, maybe, when states don't have equal size, but it kind of gives you a rough estimate of how far something is.
Okay, yeah, but still a little more specific. But the deeper question, is, why? Why do you need to go 5,000 galaxies away to find a 7-Eleven, a clerk from 7-Eleven, or a crane operator who can't fight back? You're seriously telling me that you had to come further beyond the edge of known space than anything we've ever seen before to come to Earth to find a guy who can't fight back in a science fiction setting where aliens are everywhere? You couldn't go for, like, half a galaxy away? 1 galaxy away. The next star system over. Hell, in the next episode, we meet someone from a race of people who's from a planet that's being actively targeted by the Stenza. You couldn't go there and take one of the slaves? Or the people who are actively hiding or in a resistance movement? That wasn't an option?
I guess they're not very practical about it, but yeah.
We're a warrior race. As long as they can't fight back.
I know, it makes it super lame.
Go after a Cyberman. That would be cool.
That could be pretty cool.
No. Go after the Sontarans, because that would just be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Or another thing you could do is, let's say...
I'm busy picturing Sontarans chanting Sontar Ha as they mow down these guys with their laser rifles.
That would be fun.
Continue.
Another thing he could have done is, okay, he has to kill this particular alien monster or something, which itself just roams about from planet to planet, and it happens to have shown up on Earth this Tuesday night or whatever, and he pursues it, right? So there you go. Like the beast was a mindless beast that has light speed capability. Let's say it warps. Let's say it happens to warp onto Earth, and then he follows it. And now we gotta avoid that. The first thing that just kills everything indiscriminately, and also deal with this guy who's gonna kill anyone who gets in his way. Maybe he's gonna detonate a bomb that'll kill the beast, but also kill 100 other people. Right? Something like that.
Right. Or hell, what would be interesting? The Deep Space Nine episode, I forget what it's called, but it starred this alien called Tosk. And as the episode goes on, Tosk starts acting weird. Okay, he starts off acting weird, but then he continually acts weird throughout the episode. It turns out that Tosk's race is an artificial one meant to be the perfect prey. That they will find different guns and weapons and lead the targets, the people hunting him, on a good chase throughout, space. if you're advanced enough to create warp drives that go from one galaxy to 5,000 in seconds, do that. Don't bring our shit into this when we're defenseless.
Right, and, in other episodes, you've had, let's say, in Ten's first episode, when that was not the Ziggurats?
I'm not sure.
The guys with the blood control. Anyway, they came to Earth feeling that Earth was defenseless, specifically because they wanted to conquer it, because it's defenseless. Which makes sense if you're out in the mood to conquer things. But if you're trying to prove your worth to a warrior race, I don't think the Klingons would be very impressed by, I killed this random defenseless dude. Come on, guys, do the warrior race thing properly.
And even the motivation for... Okay, the other first episode enemies for most modern Doctors have been... Their motivations were impressive. Like, 9 had the Autons. Okay, which first, classic Doctor Who villain. Super good. They wanted to, like, replace people or something, or take over the world.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good stake. 10, it had the blood control dudes. Wanted to take over the world. And also set up that 10 was not... Okay, well, actually, no. We're just going with the enemies for right now. 11 was Prisoner Zero and the Atraxi, who threatened to burn Earth to a cinder to prevent Prisoner Zero from escaping.
So, high stakes.
12 was stopping a bunch of robots from harvesting people and turning them into their spaceship.
Which wasn't as high stakes, but it was interesting,
Yeah, and, it did connect back to the... What is it? The one where the robots were trying to harvest that one French woman?
Oh, the girl in the fireplace.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it connected back to that in a way. That's cool. But also stopping what is essentially serial killers from harvesting pieces of their victims. That's a pretty good goal.
And that's a pretty gruesome thing to think about. So it's, all right, this is important, And it looked interesting. The whole weird clockwork robot-y thing.
But the stanza... We come to Earth to catch this one really unimpressive guy. It doesn't have...
And the Doctor ends up saving this one guy, and in the meantime, one other person dies, so it is strict numerical count. It's, well, no, and the guy kills like 4 other people. So the strict numerical count, more people died than got saved in this episode.
Which, if the Doctor had done nothing, then, if the Doctor hadn't even shown up, all those people would have just left, and...
Well, he could have still killed a few people along the way and killed the one weenie guy.
Yeah.
I don't mean to mock him, but I didn't know what else to describe him as.
Just...
That's what they set him up as.
The threat level for introducing this new incarnation of the most classic science fiction hero in England is not that compelling.
No, and if you want this Stenza guy to be scary, especially if his people are referenced again in the next episode, I feel like they're going to build him up this whole season. Give him a moment where he shows just how powerful he is. Like, we literally have a scene where he is fighting a dude, and the dude is fighting back with salad. The guy is throwing salad at him, and then he's like, I will kill you now. And he kills him. And you're like, but that's not really impressive. You just killed Salad Man. Come on. Give me like some dangerous biker gangster guy who comes at him with a, a whip made of chains or something. A chain, whatever you call it.
Yeah, give us Ghost Rider versus
Give it a Ghost Rider, dude. He's like all, angry. Give him a gang war. 2 gangs are fighting each other. He just casually walks in and kills all of them, right?
One of the Predator sequels had a scene where there was a crime lord, black guy, dreadlocks, kind of, I don't remember much about it. This is like the only scene I've seen from a Predator movie. And the Predator shows up, and the guy decides, I am like super awesome, pulls out 2 swords, and charges the Predator. And we see the Predator, we don't even see the fight, but the Predator's just walking away with the guy's head later on. And he scalps it and cleans it and mounts it as a trophy. But that was a way to establish that this is a creature that is willing to take on even a hardened gang leader with twin swords that he presumably knew how to use.
Is a hell of a lot more interesting than Salad Man. I feel like Salad Man has to be a meme now. Like,
Yes.
just anytime someone goes up against a foe that's like way above their threat level, just post a picture of Salad Man throwing salad.
Yes. People of the internet, make this meme.
Make this a meme.
So, like, the first guy, the guy who prepared and readied himself to meet this alien invader who paid to have the Hershey's Kiss of Doom inside of his base. The only weapon he has is a crowbar, and he knows these things take people. Why the hell didn't he try to go for a gun?
And I know it's hard to get in Britain, but he had 7 years to prepare, and he was, like, looking for atmospheric disturbances that matched the spaceship, so...
I'm thinking compared to that, finding a pistol is not going to be hard.
Or finding a rifle, a hunting rifle is a little more common, regulatory-wise.
Rob a cop. I'm not encouraging people to rob a cop, but like something more.
Put that on a t-shirt. Just says, "I'm not encouraging people to rob a cop."
But okay, he came at him with a crowbar.
He didn't even come at him. He stood there and then got kind of scared. And the guy, remember, the bad guy has no weapons. He doesn't even jump on the guy. I think maybe the costume was too hard to work in, so he couldn't run and he couldn't leap at somebody. He just like walks up to him slowly, and the guy backs up, and he backs up against some chains that sort of form a wall. And he's like, "You will never know what happened to your sister." And he puts his hand up to the guy's face, and the guy dies. And the guy could have hit him with the crowbar at some point, but he didn't bother to do that because
Gordon Freeman was a quantum physicist, and he had a crowbar, and he killed half an alien army.
He did. It was a fun couple of games.
And
2.5 games.
See, here's the thing, though. Gordon used his weapon. This is not a fair fight. If you want him to seem intimidating, don't have him kill unarmed, defenseless people.
Yeah.
When the biggest challenge that the monster overcomes is Salad Man.
Salad Man.
Salad Man and the doctor talking to him. Oh, yes, and he gets shoved off a crane at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so getting to that, the doctor, in the midst of tracking them down, builds herself a new sonic screwdriver. Because she can do that, I guess. But okay, fine.
To be fair, the doctor
the doctor is super clever, but I always kind of like the idea that Sonic Screwdriver had components dating back to the original Gallifrey, and it was kind of beyond your understanding and whatever, and now it's like, oh, a box full of scraps? Yeah, I'll just make my own all of a sudden.
The 13th Doctor built this in a cave with a box of scraps! No, it's 10 years after that, and no, we are still referencing it.
Iron Man for the win. All right. Okay, so builds a sonic screwdriver, does some more tracking, finds the alien tentacle thing, which turns out it's like a drone, essentially, that works for the Shenza guy. Stenza guy. Dang it. And it was just looking for, what's his name, the guy.
The weenie.
The guy. We should go find his freaking name at some point.
Why? I'm still going to call him the weenie.
Oh, I think it's Carl. Okay. So Carl, thank you, Wikipedia.
With a K, because of course it is.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, so this thing is helping to track its location. And Tim Shaw shows up because it's...
You know what I was really disappointed about the monster? When it started projecting Carl's face, I thought it was 9 for a second.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But it wasn't.
Looking for 9 the whole time. It was looking for the doctor the whole time.
Looking for Christopher Eccleston.
No, that'd be great. Yeah, if it was looking... Okay, this solves a couple problems at once. If their test of leadership is you have to kill the doctor, that's a hard test to win. And if you win it, then you prove you're the leader. And no one's ever done it before. But like it's written into their law, you know.
Although this would... or maybe the people who challenged the doctor before were just so... easily defeated that it wasn't really ever worth mentioning. The doctor just completely forgot about it. It's like...
Oh, yeah, the doctor's defeated Shenza before.
To quote another SF Debris thing, we get a cutscene for this bad guy. Finally, I will defeat you, Revan. After so many years of training, I am ready to fight you. Oh, cool. What's this guy's name? Sith Master? I'm being challenged by a guy who doesn't even have a name? Now you will feel the wrath of man number 3. But I just figured that the doctor fights so many alien menaces, she literally blanks out like a couple of them.
Okay, Anyway, though, if...
Oh, hang on. The Daleks, okay, are you building a bomb? Are you stealing a planet? Or are you just trying to exterminate people? Which one is it?
But anyway, if you have to go kill the Doctor, like, let's say there's a list of, like, 10 beings that are considered dangerous enough that if you kill them, you get to be leader. And the Doctor's on the list. And so they're looking for an older incarnation of the Doctor, because his intel is off, So,
given how many universal retcons there have been since 9 was around, that's actually plausible.
Oh, very plausible, yeah. So, since there's another thread in here where the Doctor can't remember the words, the Doctor, and eventually comes up with that, their climactic moment could be, I am the Doctor, triggering Tim Shaw to charge at her to go kill her, but the Doctor set up like a trap, right? So he charges right into the trap and gets caught, and we win. So,
exactly.
I am the Doctor becomes the phrase that wins the battle.
Exactly.
Ta-da.
Although him using older information on the Doctor makes me think of him with one of those cardboard box traps with jelly babies underneath it. And he's just like, yes, yes!
And then someone's eventually like, you fool, the Doctor already has infinite jelly babies. He won't need any more. Then he makes a new version of the trap, which is just like a cardboard cutout of someone saying, with a little cardboard word bubble, please give me a jelly baby. Just wait for the Doctor to come by. Must resolve this.
Okay, so Tim Jean of the Stenza dude, Stenza tracks down Carl to his work site where Carl is on a crane, and the crane is he's afraid of heights, so the Doctor has the companions move another crane so Carl can jump from one to the other, but the Stenza guy captures Carl, so the Doctor jumps from one crane to the other, and then kind of gives a not that great speech about how, I don't know, freedom or something.
Okay, so this would have been a good speech if the rest of the episode were built around it. Because what she's saying is people can change and become new while still staying true to who they are, which is exactly what regeneration is supposed to be.
Which, in theory, that could have worked, but, as you said, nothing about this episode was about change.
Yeah.
Nothing
was about the possible... Like, if, say, the Doctor offers that to the bad guy and he refuses, but there's like a companion who's inspired by that to change in his own way or something, but like they don't. Even what's his name, main guy, the first guy we saw, Ryan, his thing was he couldn't ride a bike, and at the end of the episode he still can't ride a bike. He explicitly cannot ride it. He's trying, at least, I guess, but it was Not a whole lot of change there.
You were exactly the same.
Okay. So what was the point of this speech? It came out of nowhere. So, Stenza guy's like, nope, screw it. I just want to win. And he says, okay, so she says, if you don't let Carl go, I'll destroy this transporter gadget you got to take you back home. So they're stranded here forever. And he's like, well, if you do that, I'll activate the bombs and kill all your friends and stuff. And she's like, well, if you kill me and all my friends, then I'll drop this thing. And he's like, well, I'll activate the bombs anyway, because apparently he doesn't care about getting back home anymore or something.
They apparently send new guys every 7 years or so.
Yeah, I'll just wait. So he activates the bombs and ends up killing himself.
Maybe it's unclear about that.
Well, at least harming himself, because it turns out off-screen the Doctor took the bombs out of their collarbones and put it into the tentacle monster, because apparently she knew that it was going to get absorbed back into Stenza Dude physically, and so now she can detonate them from inside his body, and it seems to cause him a lot of pain. And then Carl trips him, so he falls off the thing, and the Doctor chides him for that, even though he just tried to murder that dude just now.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of annoying about the Doctors is that they are stupidly pacifistic unless it's them doing the horrible violence. I mean, seriously, Doctor? You're saying, if you're a victim, don't fight back, but it's perfectly okay because I got pissed that one time, seal a guy in the event horizon of a black hole. He did that. That was 10.
And that was a cool moment. And yeah.
The other. Okay. In order, the family of blood. One was trapped in a mirror forever. The second was trapped in the event horizon of a black hole. The third was wrapped in chains made of neutron star matter. And the fourth was placed in a stasis field and trapped as a scarecrow for all eternity. I'm just saying, Doc, once you've done that, I don't think you have the right to criticize a guy who is actively being threatened by a monster for shoving the monster off of a crane.
And by the way, the Stenza dude doesn't die because he teleports away while falling.
So, really, nothing bad happened to him.
No, nothing really.
He just left.
He was okay.
Wait, did the doctor just want him to stay there and melt? What the fuck?
I don't know. It's not even clear if the bombs would have killed him or he's slightly immune to them or what. At least they caused him pain.
Meanwhile, Grace decides to go down and
attack the tentacle thing
for no
reason. Like, I think the intention was it's attacking the base of the crane and it's almost about to break through the base, in which case everyone on board the crane above will fall and die. So we had to go kill it to save them. But it sure as frick looked like the crane was structurally sound up to even to the very last moment. So she kind of just climbs up to it with a electric, cable thing. And zaps it, and it dies. And as it dies, though, it kills her
by making her fall off the crane,
throwing her off the side. And it's like, Grace, you could have just not done that, and I think we were all fine. And then they make a big deal about her. She died, and there's a funeral. It does feel very sad. But it's tainted by the fact that didn't seem to make any sense.
And it didn't make a difference.
It didn't seem to make a difference. So why was that in there? That was weird.
The doctor builds a teleporter to take her to the TARDIS because the TARDIS for some reason is on another planet, even though the TARDIS was previously in Earth's atmosphere or something.
Apparently.
I mean,
maybe she fell through a wormhole the last episode we didn't see.
Yeah.
So it's on another planet. They gotta do a teleport thing, and they teleport. Oh, she accidentally teleports all the new companions with her. So they're together now, still.
Yep.
By the way, there's a bit in the middle there where the doctor points out that Stenza is cheating. He's not supposed to use Tentacle Monster to help him find Carl. Which, okay, if he hadn't had one of those, he would have just Googled Carl for a couple of days until he found him, so...
Yeah, because how else would he have found the person? I mean, I guess they'd have to have a Tentacle Monster on Earth beforehand to find the target.
Well, he's not supposed to have one, though. So, apparently there's some other method of finding the target. I'm guessing he knows the guy's name and can Google it. Other than that, he has to wander the surface of the Earth forever until he finds this one guy. If you see the guy that looks like this, anyone? She points out that he's cheating, and you think that would be a thing. It's like, because I can prove you're cheating, it throws off the whole competition, but he just doesn't care. But then it's like, if he just doesn't care, why doesn't he just shoot Carl in the face? If he's cheating anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, just shoot him in the face. So this whole episode didn't add up to much. The stakes were weirdly low. The new companions didn't fully pop. And the villain was a Predator knockoff who made no sense. So we didn't like that a whole lot.
Also, and I think this is one of the more unforgivable things about this, the Doctor didn't make any really memorable lines. Oh, she felt like the Doctor through the whole episode. I'm not saying that. I greatly enjoyed her performance, but it wasn't memorable. And when you're trying to introduce the cast, the audience to a new Doctor, that's unforgivable.
There were cooler lines at the beginning of 10 and 11's run, at least.
9 had some really great ones, like everyone clinging to the surface of a planet. I'm what happens when you let go.
Yeah.
Or, hello, Rose. I'm the Doctor. Basically, run.
Yeah.
Or, hello, Rose. Run. No, basically, run is a different one. And then 10 had no second chances. That's the kind of man I am. 11 had, hello there. I'm the Doctor. Basically, run.
Yeah.
12 had, 12 wasn't
I'm sure there's something in there somewhere. This one's big moment was just I am the Doctor, which again could have been made into a bigger thing. And yeah, just over. Oh, by the way, some of the cinematography, not just the fact that it was visually dark, but in this and the second episode, there are some weird moments where they'll do a close-up on some object or other, and it'll be too close, and the camera will shake a bit, and it doesn't communicate any information, and then it cuts away again. You're like, why was that even there? That was distracting. It happened a few times, and other things with the camera work. There was just, it's a little weird, you guys. Come on, pick up the pace and give me shots that tell me something. You know?
So the second episode we actually liked more, called The Ghost Monument, where at the end of the last episode, oops, we beamed everyone into space.
And then they met up with the Hitchhikers of the Galaxy, and
No, you mean
Hitchhikers,
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were going Guardians of the Galaxy. But
no, I was going because that happened. They went into space and they had to put out their thumbs and get picked up by the ship.
But what happened instead is they do get picked up by two racers who are part of the Amazing Race, except with more murder. Except less murder and more incredibly lethal stuff. They land on this planet that is apparently super ultra toxic, with water that is full of flesh-eating microbes.
That we never get to see eat anything. I feel like the CGI budget has been cut, maybe.
Yeah, because they have this nasty habit of letting things that should happen on screen not happen on screen.
Just a little bit off the side of the camera, a little bit, yeah.
While original Bubs, who is playing this monster just off the camera. And the air is apparently super toxic, but we never see that.
Everyone can breathe just fine, so that was weird.
Yeah, and the two racers just weren't engaging. Okay, the woman who her planet was being culled, that furthered the Stenzi plot, in theory. But the problem is that she wasn't that interesting. The best she had going for her is, oh, my planet is under attack and I'm a lesbian. Okay, just a little minor tangent. Can we stop just throwing lesbians and gay people at stuff? I'm not against equal representation in media. But with the number of gay people and lesbians thrown into every single thing that I've seen, I'm pretty sure that most of the human race wouldn't be able to reproduce.
I don't know though. I mean, if
admittedly,
5 to 10% of the cast, that would be mathematically correct, right?
Admittedly, a lot of this anger comes from fandom and fan.
Oh yes, well, if you read all the fanfics, you're gonna have so many more gay people than you might find.
So this is mostly devoted to those people who just throw lesbians or gay people at the cast and say,
They're trying to make up for all these past centuries where they couldn't do that. So
stop it. Just if a character is proven straight in the show, or the other things.
Well, okay, I'll go on a related tangent to that. Actually, I've noticed, particularly among fan bits, that there is a thing where they assume that if two men specifically spend a lot of time together, they must be gay for each other. And I'm all for fans imagining whatever the hell they want. But I realized what was bugging me about this, when people tell me that Holmes and Watson must be gay, or R2, D2, and C3PO are gay somehow, or that the entire cast of Lord of the Rings is gay, is eventually what I realized what was bugging me about.
That is wrong, and that is just wrong. Everyone knows that Pippin was gay. Boromir was bisexual. Legolas was a woman who was pansexual, and Gandalf just did whatever the hell he wanted.
Anyway.
Plus, everyone knows that hobbits, it's orgy night every Tuesday.
Oh dear. No, what eventually I realized was bugging me about this was the fact that people kind of assume that men cannot relate to each other unless it's either hatred or sexuality. There was a narrowing of you could just have a really close friendship between Frodo and Sam, that's a legitimate possibility that male individuals of the human race are capable of doing.
Like we do. Or if you want a sci-fi example, Julian Bashir, Miles O'Brien, Deep Space Nine, great friends throughout the entire series, never a moment of romantic interaction.
Yeah.
But they were just such good friends that literally the writers of the show were clamoring to the creators, hey, we didn't know we could do this type of friendship between people. Can we do more of this?
Can we do friendships more, please? Like, so yeah, being a...
The same thing can also apply to men and women, and women and women.
Yeah.
And trans people and trans people. And aliens and humans. And aliens and other aliens.
I think
if you can have two people and not have them wanting to have sex with each other or be in love with each other, they can just be friends.
Which is kind of a thing that came up in the last few companions. I don't know about Bill, but before that there was a bit of, Clara had like a crush on the doctor.
Please tell me that, since we were just talking about Bill, please tell me that the companion was Bill the Pony from The Hobbit.
That'd be great, but no. Unless...
Please, horse... My God, you haven't had a black doctor, and you haven't had a horse companion. I am ashamed of you, Doctor Who.
Okay, our audience has no idea what we're talking about anymore.
No, I'd say there's no pony companion, but we were part of a project that sought to fix that.
Yeah, that's true. We totally did that. I'm actually working on a thing related to that. Okay. Point is, we're off topic.
When are we on topic?
It's a good question. Who's still listening? Okay, so we got to the... you were saying the two racers. The one of them lost her planet, and I found that scene kind of moving. And the other one had an abusive mother, and I found that scene kind of moving.
I didn't.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Look, I mean, I understand you having a harsh past. Here's the thing, though. And I want everyone who's making a backstory to relate to this. And listen, just because you had a shit past doesn't mean you have to make your character an asshole.
That's a good point.
I mean, God damn it. All Might says it best. When there's nothing to be gained... Wait, no, hang on, sorry. Linkara said it best. Not All Might. Linkara and All Might are not the same person. Just because you have a sympathetic backstory does not make you a sympathetic character. People can be shit, horrible people with great backstories. People can have terrible pasts and be great people. Look at how nice Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
Yeah.
And he trained Vader. You trained the guy who massacred the Jedi Order. Okay, on the other hand, Tyrion Lannister. You grew up in wealth, power, privilege. You wanted for nothing. By all accounts, you had a great past other than living in Game of Thrones. And you made Caligula go, damn, son, tone it down. I'm sorry.
So anyway, these two characters. The one thing that bugged me about them was if they're supposed to be the last two survivors to, continuing to race, that is, people out of 4,000. And the prize is something like $1 trillion because it's enough to put yourself and your entire clan, however many people that is, into a life of luxury forever. These people should be really damn motivated and focused.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. In between my ranting about gay people and Bill the Pony being a companion.
Okay, wait, you forgot about what I just said, or did you think of something else entirely?
No. I remember thinking these are really non-competitive.
Yeah.
But then I got sidetracked by my observation that Bill the Pony should be a companion.
Because they kind of seem to have enough time to chit-chat, and they walk up to the hologram tent where the guy gives them the rules on the final leg of the race, and then they walk to the next building where they're going, and they banter a little bit more, and you're sort of like, is there some reason one of you isn't sprinting? Maybe both of you. I get it's a really hot planet, but you could have done something interesting where these people are just desperately focused the whole time, running on adrenaline, gotta get there, gotta get to the prize, and then our main cast gets all caught up in that, oh wow, that stuff's moving fast because these guys are literally going fast.
But no, everyone just kind of walks everywhere. Even the woman who is not sure if her family is dead or not.
Yeah, even for her, it's not just winning, but winning, by 10 minutes earlier versus, waiting an extra 10 minutes could mean the difference of somebody living or dying. So
I'm nodding.
You think she'd be really running a lot? It's Doctor Who. Isn't there a lot of running in this show?
There is literally a song by the band Chameleon Circuit titled An Awful Lot of Running to Do about the Doctor.
Yeah, and even more specifically the Doctor's daughter, because that's her phrase. Remember that? Got an awful lot of running to
Oh
do.
my god, that's Jenny.
Jenny.
I
yeah.
miss Jenny, and I hope she comes back at some point.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because she's another Time Lord. That is a whole story opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually the first modern female Time Lord we see in Doctor Who.
That's right. Interesting. So yeah, they go to a place, and the Doctor keeps remarking how like there are people here and they're all dead. What's with that? And they go under. Oh, they forgot to have some robots with lasers and terrible, terrible aim.
Yeah,
and then they fight those and EMP them and stuff, whatever.
The Doctor seems kind of a hypocrite. It's like anyone who does anything violent around her is terrible. Unless it's her doing the violent thing.
Well, yeah, in this case it was Ryan, like, grabs a gun and starts shooting robots, and they just get back up again.
Yeah, why is she concerned? These are robots. They are drones. You confirmed this. They're target practice of your own.
Yeah, I guess it was less of a moral argument, more of a strategic argument. The strategy being, for some reason, guns are always a bad strategic option.
Yeah, I don't think you know how war works, Doctor. And I'm pretty sure every person the Daleks exterminated with their guns, which includes your entire species, I think they would disagree.
Yeah, anyway. So they find out, oh, this planet was used for, I guess, the Stenza, for some scientists to make horrible, like, bioweapons and stuff, which basically killed everything. So his answer to that mystery wasn't that much of a twist, really.
Yeah, I mean, generally with Doctor Who, whenever you land on a planet and there's something obviously wrong, it's someone used a bioweapon, there's an alien loose, some weird spatial anomaly is eating the sun.
That could happen. Yeah, I remember that one. So, yeah, it was... Okay, so one of the things that the judge tells them is don't travel at night. And the deal is at night there's like these rags that come to life and choke people to death. Which, actually, then you should travel at night, because the alternative was going to sleep at night, at which point they will choke you to death. So, really, be nocturnal and stay awake while the danger's at its maximum.
Plus, if it's a planet with 3 suns, moving at night would be preferable because, well, it'd be cold at night. You wouldn't have to worry about dehydration.
Yeah, I mean, the cold might still kill you for all I know. But yeah, you know, on average, it seems like a better option.
Also, the Doctor set fire to like 3 or 4 of them, and that seemed to be all of the rag people on the planet.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to deal with any of those again. And we run into the problem again of all the companions feeling really, really passive. Hell, the only one who isn't is frickin' Graham.
Who at least budges in with questions now and then, but doesn't come up with any solutions. Remember Rose's first episode where she realized that the Autons were hiding under the London Eye? There's a whole bit where the Doctor, like, clearly didn't get it, and she, like, clearly got it, and she was like, oh! Like, I like those moments where the companion figures something out that the Doctor couldn't do on his or her own. And I don't seem to remember any of those moments happening in the first 2 episodes.
Granted, we're doing just 2 episodes
I know, but
all
still.
of these, but still though.
Yeah, so they end up kind of cooperating in order to survive. So the 2 racers decide, all right, we'll both walk across the finish line at the exact same time and declare it a joint victory. I didn't think there was enough development in these 2 people to show that they'd be willing to do that.
Yeah.
Especially when the one guy is established as an absolute jerk. And because one person helped save his life, he feels like he'll give away his prize or half the prize.
I think it was because the Doctor just forced him. I like to imagine that behind the scenes, the Doctor just put both of them in a headlock and forced them to do this.
Yeah, that's still not as satisfying as it could be. I'd like to see these people come together and work together finally and then, like, the judge dude doesn't want to give them their prize. He's like, I'm just going to rule the whole thing invalid. And then they're both like, hey, if you don't give us our prize, we'll come kill you. And he's like, okay, here's your prize. But I'm like, all right, this dude is on a hologram some light years away, and he apparently has trillions of dollars he can just give away to prize winners. He could probably afford security to keep out these 2 people who are currently stranded on a planet with no ships and no supplies. Like, how could they possibly threaten him? And he seems intimidated for some reason. Come on. Come up with some clever thingamajig where, like, oh, we reverse hacked the hologram transmitter and we could, like, zap him from a distance somehow. Or we picked up some artifact of something that's important to him somehow, and we'll blow it up unless you give us what's ours, or something.
And while this episode didn't have as many of these zoom-in things, they did still have a lot of the problems.
They did. I kept pointing that out. I would love to show some freeze frames if we can get them later somehow.
Yeah.
Like, look at this shot. What is in that shot? It's a blurrish thing. There was one bit where all the characters are blurry for a good, 3 seconds. Like, walking in the background. Like, they're blurry.
Yeah, I can see how the support beam. I can see how the support beam was vital to setting up the scene. And anytime they want to go inside of a structure, it's always dark. Which, again, I know why they do it, but that doesn't excuse it to keep doing it.
I wonder if they've cut some budgets or something. I don't know.
That's the only explanation that makes sense to me.
Because
the TARDIS is dark. Remember when it was brightly lit with all those orange lights and it had those coral things and stuff? And remember 11's where it was gold and looked steampunky?
Yeah.
And it looked all cheery and kind of like a giant toy shop?
Yeah.
And then they shifted it into this really dark, ugly mess.
I mean, I like the Pillars of Crystal thing, but...
Oh, yes. This thing does look really cool. But you know what would make it better? Light! Light would make it better.
Well, at least we're still interested enough in these first 2 episodes that we started watching the third one, which we may get around to reviewing later on. I don't know.
Called Rosa.
It's called Rosa.
It's about Rosa Parks.
Yep.
God damn it, Doctor Who, can you leave one historical event alone?
No.
Because, let's be honest here, it's starting to feel like you don't trust humans. It's like you don't trust any human to do any historical event. It always has to be, but then an alien was secretly making Hitler do bad stuff. Or, and then, Martin Luther King was secretly gerbils inside of a robot suit. We had to stop that shit.
No idea. Look, it's just fun to visit historical events.
Okay, yes, it is, but at the same time, they...
Okay. Anything else?
I want a Dalek episode.
I'm sure that'll come eventually.
Well, yeah, they have to do it early just to make sure that every person has a Dalek episode.
I don't know. They'll do it eventually. It might be early, it might be late. Maybe they're giving the Daleks a rest while they do the Stenza this season.
You really think that they... Oh, wait, they managed to work the Bad Wolf stuff in with the first Dalek episode of the New Who.
That's true. I remember that.
Well, the Stenza came down to this planet, and then they realized they fucked up. Okay, in hindsight, we should not have invaded Skaro. That was a bad move. It was on me. Oopsie. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go redeem for my sins by going to punch a Japanese shop worker. He has arthritis in every joint in his body, and I guarantee you he is a pacifist. This will cleanse all of my sins. Oh, come on. They have to be weenies. We've established that this race is pathetic.
I see.
No, we're not singing weenies.
No, it's not an event. I was just singing the song. Okay. So Doctor Who's back.
Doctor Who's back.
Watch some more.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess we're done then.
Right.
I'm Sith King.
I'm Sonic Sons.
Bye.
We're signing off.